Good evening everyone. My name is Ameena Khan and today I am here to explain you about what is IELTS and what is IELTS test format. So let's start with what is IELTS. IELTS means International English Language Testing System. It is used to check the language ability or proficiency of a candidate who needs to work, stay, as well as who wants to study abroad. Now, British Council and IDP Australia are the co-partners for the IELTS, as well as the candidate gets his exam papers from the Cambridge University. Okay, it is one of the well-known university in the world. Now, IELTS test result or IELTS is valid in USA, UK, London, Australia, Canada, South Africa and Ireland. Okay. Now, there are 1,100 test centers into 140 countries and more on. Now, IELTS is being divided into two categories. One is general and one is academic. So, one is general and the other is academic. General category is for the PR, dependents, the people who want to work and stay abroad, where English is only the language of communication. Now, academic is for the students or for the professionals, the students who want to go for higher studies in abroad universities. Okay, now let's see how the IELTS test format has been designed by the British Council as well as with the IDP. Overall, it is divided in two skills. So, the candidate who is appearing for IELTS test is being judged on two skills. That is, first, receptive skills, and the second is productive skills. Fine. So, in receptive skills, the very first is listening. Second is reading. Productive skills is writing and speaking. So once again, whether it is a general category or an academic category, it has been tested on receptive skills and productive skills, which is listening, reading, writing and speaking. Now, listening, reading and writing is taken on the same day by the examiners, and speaking is taken 7 days before or after of the test, as well as listening and speaking is the same module for the general category as well as for the academic category. Now, the total test duration of IELTS is 2 hours and 45 minutes. So, let's see in detail how every module is. So, we'll start with the first module, that is listening. Okay, so the first module is listening. The duration of listening is 30 minutes plus 10 minutes. So, very first in listening, there are 40 questions which are in 4 sections. So, listening is divided in 4 sections. Section 1, Section 2, Section 3 and Section 4. Now, the Section 1 is usually the easiest, and as it goes to second and third and fourth, it gets little difficult for the candidate. Okay, in this, a question booklet and the answer booklet is being provided by the examiner, and a candidate needs to hear the audios on the headphone and answer all the 40 questions on the answer booklet, as well as you get extra 10 minutes time in listening to transfer your answers from the question booklet to the answer booklet, which is one good thing in the listening module. Now let's go for the reading module. Now what basically the reading is. Reading, again, reading is for 60 minutes. Okay, now it has, again, you need to question, a candidate need to question, answer 40 questions which are in three sections. Again, so it is divided in three sections: section 1, section 2 and section 3. So there are the paragraphs, the passages which are being given, and a candidate need to answer that questions. Okay, now for the general category and for the academic category, the paragraphs which have been given in the test is little different. Now, for general category, you get from magazines or from the brochures or articles, anything. But for the academic category, you get it from the newspapers. You get the paragraphs from the newspapers or from the journals. And one biggest difference between the general category and as well as with the academic category is that in general category, the question paragraphs are the paras which are given in the test are little smaller compared to the general academic, as academic has always the long paragraphs, and a candidate should be very good in scheming and scanning. The most important point for the reading module is that you don't get extra time, like extra 10 minutes time to transfer your answers to the answer sheet from the question booklet, as which you get in the listening. Now let's go to the next module, which is writing. Okay, so writing is also for 60 minutes of duration, and it is totally different for both the categories, that is for generals as well as for the academic. So I'm dividing it by general and academic. Now in writing module, you have two tasks. Task 1 and task 2. Okay, for the general, task 1 is always a letter writing, which is for a formal letter or an informal letter. Now the formal letter means a letter which can be for an application for a job, or it can be a complaint letter, or it can be a letter to the librarian for giving the late books, or an informal letter. An informal letter, it can be even a semi-formal letter. Like now in informal letter, what you do, you write a letter to your parents, or you write a letter to your relatives or friends, like for invitation, or you have taken a new house. So it can be any form of informal letter, but there is a particular format of writing this informal or a formal letter in IELTS. Okay, now in this task, a candidate need to write 150 words in 20 minutes. Besides that, this task should be always written on the page number 1 and 2 of the answer sheet. Okay, let's go for the academic. The task is to summarize a pie chart or a table or a diagram. Means anything which is picture, you need to summarize or explain about that picture. And it is same, a candidate need to write here also 150 words within 20 minutes, and it should be also written on the page number 1 and 2. Now Let's go for the task 2 for the general category. It is an essay basically, and it is on the general topics. It can be any generalized or socialized topic, and a candidate need to write 250 words. Okay, if you write extra words, okay, if you write extra words or you write more words, you are being penalized, or you have a penalty for it. Okay, now 250 words which have to be written in 40 minutes, and it has to be written on the page number 3 and 4, page number 3 and 4 of the answer booklet. Okay, now let's go for the academic. Here also it is an essay, but usually to justify an argument, or it can be a problem and a solution type of a question, and many words. Okay, so in here also a candidate need to write 250 words, 250 words into 40 minutes, and it's on the page number 1 and 2, page number 3, sorry, it's on the page number 3 and 4 of the answer booklet. Okay, let's see again the writing module. Writing module is being divided for the general category and academic category in a different form. For the task 1 for general, it is letter writing, formal, informal or a semi-formal, which has to be written 150 words in 20 minutes. It should be written on the page number 1 and 2. As well as for the academic, it is to summarize a pie chart, diagram or a table. Okay, here also a candidate need to write 150 words in 20 minutes on the page number 1 and 2. The task 2 for the general is always an essay, which is a general topic, 250 words. It should be written in 40 minutes and on the page number 3 and 4 of the answer sheet. As well as for the academic, it is the same. It is an essay, but in a different form. It's always a problem and a solution, or a justification of your opinion, or it can be an argument. It can be anything what a candidate need to explain in deep detail. Now, it also has to be written on 250 words, 40 minutes and 3 to 4 number on the page number 3 and 4. If you write excessive, or even if you write less in the writing module, you are being marked, or you have to pay the penalty for that, right? Let's go and see how your writing is being judged by the examiner. It has been judged on the 4 things. Very first, that is TA, which means a task achievement. CC, which is coherence and cohesion. After that, it is LR, which means the lexical resources. And the most important is the GR, that is grammar. Now, overall, the examiner looks that whatever has been given in the question, whatever the bullet points which have been given in the question, the candidate has understood that thing as well as have achieved the task. So, that is called task achievement. Okay. After that, coherence and cohesion. It means there is a good connectivity in your writing, whether you have written the task with the connectivity. Other thing is a lexical resources. It means that how good are in your vocabulary. Like how good vocabulary have you used when you are writing a write-up. Okay. Now, besides that, as the cherry on the top of the cake is the grammar. You should be very good in your grammar. How good are you using your tenses, your helping verbs, or a type of sentences like simple, compound or complex. So it all depends that even if you have written a letter or an essay, it has to be judged by the examiner on 4 criteria, that is task achievement, coherence and cohesion, lexical resources and the grammar. Now, let's see the last module of the IELTS test, that is speaking. Okay, so what about the speaking? The speaking is same for the general category as well as for the academic, right? It is for like 11 to 14 minutes of time. Now, speaking is being divided in 3 tasks. Task 1, task 2 and task 3. Fine. So let's start with the task 1. Task 1 is for 5 minutes. Here, very first, the examiner introduces himself or herself to the candidate, as well as he always asks the general questions. Now, what type of general question does an examiner ask like? So he can ask about your hobbies, can ask about your job, he can ask about your family. So even an examiner can ask that why you need to travel abroad, or why you want to go to Canada or Australia, and what is your reason of going, or why you want to study over there. So he can ask you any general questions related to you, as well as the task 1 is for 5 minutes. Let's go for task 2. That is for 3 minutes. Now, this round is also called a T card round. That is called a clue card round or a task card round. Okay. So here, an examiner gives you 1 minute to prepare from the clue card, and then 2 minutes to speak about the topic which is given on the clue card. Now, whatever the key points have been given, you need to cover and speak up in detail about that task in 2 minutes. Let's go to the task 3, which is for more than 5 to 6 minutes. Here, the examiner asks the follow-up questions or a why or why not type of questions by the candidate which is related to the task 2. So whatever the clue card you have got, the examiner can ask you questions which are related to your task 2, and he can ask you why and why not. So this task is usually a task which is for the discussion. Okay, and here also examiner gives you a full chance to speak about the topic. Now, besides this, let's see how your speaking is being judged by the examiners. Very first, they see your fluency, that how good are you in fluency. They see your pronunciation. They see your vocabs, what type of a vocabs you are using. They even see that what type of a grammar, like how good are you in tense, like what are you speaking in the tense. Are you speaking in a correct tense and past, present or future, as well as overall, examiner wants to know that how natural are you in speaking. So overall on this, you are being judged in speaking. Let's go about the result of IELTS. So how do we get the results of IELTS? So we have seen that how much and what about the task of speaking. That is, there are 3 tasks, task 1, task 2 and task 3. Okay, now let's talk about the results of the IELTS. That is in bands. You know what is bands? Bands exactly means the level of ability. Now, they have their own criteria on which they judge the candidate. They have their own forms on which they make your results. So bands means the level of ability. 0 means not attempt. And 9 means you are an expert user. So I pray that all the students who have been applying for IELTS should get 9 bands and be an expert user in speaking. As well as there is no fail and pass result. You get your results on the 13th day. When have you appeared? So if have you appeared on the 1st of the month, so you'll get your result on the 14th of the month by this. As well as there are people who they need like 6 bands, or they need 7 bands or 8 bands. So if you go for 8 bands, it is a very good user. 7 band is a good user. Like 6 is a competent user. So this is the way how they have a chart that, and they see by your performance overall in listening, reading, writing and speaking, that how good have you performed, and the bands have been given on that criteria. As well as finally, last but not the least, as you know that practice makes the man perfect. So I want, and I hope, I pray that my all the students who have been trying to get good results should practice good IELTS, get best result, and their desired bands what they want in IELTS. So this is all about the IELTS and IELTS test format. So I wish good luck to my students, and that's all from my end. Thank you.